we go to Michelle Teoh. Where are you, Michelle?
Hi.
Great. Yeah, so that's Michelle Teoh. Michelle Teoh is one of the best, if not the best, headhunter expert in this region. So Michelle Teoh worked for at least 14 years or 20 years in Randstad and Manpower. She was the director of business development of Manpower, which is one of the biggest, two of the biggest recruitment agencies. So without further ado, I shall welcome Michelle to talk about people are your assets and about outplacement and stuff. So hers will be a bit shorter, and she will just say what she said to say. Give her a round of applause. Yay!
Thank you. Just let me share the screen. Hold on. Thank you, Robert. I really like the flow of this because Dr. Henry gives us a very macro view, and then Steve gave us something very individual, looking into self and also improvement. So my topic and my sharing today is very much from a personal standpoint. So it starts with the view from inside out. So this is me. This is my journey. I graduated in 1999 with a business management degree. And for the next 6 years, I was involved in logistics, industrial space, design, and also manufacturing. And 15 or 14 years ago, I went into HR recruitment and workforce solution. And today I'm actually self-employed. So with COVID-19 and also the decision to be self-employed has changed my life 180 or 360 if you want to say it. So the next few slides is just going to show you personally how things have changed for me. So it's going to be very light, and my presentation is going to be very quick. So basically, you know, in my previous lifetime, for the past 20 years, my boss, it's same thing. It's someone that delegates really well, sometimes indecisive, yet, you know, persuasive, and everything is about me and now, right? So that was maybe one or multiple reporting structure, but basically now it's just my two little ones that one thing now, everything is about me. And they will ask you to do this and that, so that they have become my boss. And then my colleagues, well, in the corporate world, I work in an environment where, you know, it's a 20 billion revenue company, and you have lots of colleagues, but I always you know, enjoy the time right before lunch and right before we leave the office. That's where they are most engaging, they are most active, and most productive. And today, working from home, Jojo is actually my colleague. So the workspace, as for many of us, you know, it's still life in a box, but now I've revamped and my little space that I call a home office. So from a box, it has you know, transitioned to a bento actually. Now my favorite department in my corporate life used to be the finance and collection, because that's when, you know, you have done your job really well, client had paid you, and subsequently you get incentivized. But working from home, all these are done either through an email or a phone call. And the department that I really visit, you know, frequently will be my kitchen and my fridge, and adding calories. So the team meeting is interesting. So you will not have that physical contact anymore. You will not generally or genuinely see reactions and stuff like that, and everything is actually online. And I felt like, you know, a lot of people take it very casually, and a whole day you can be packed with a lot of con calls, Zoom, team meetings, WebEx and all that. And you actually push out a lot of your real work at the end of the day. So this is my typical work schedule. So before, I have everything planned. Monday to Friday is really packed with team meeting, with bosses, with updates, with strategic thinking, and client visits and proposals and commercials. And working from home to me is really not working from home, is a rag from home. So I think initially for the first 2 months, it was really a struggle, because my kids are only 8 and 6, and you know, I'm a single mother, so you know, juggling that is really tough. And there's no boundaries. So while you're in your train of thoughts to decide or work on something, they will come and say, I'm hungry, I need this, I need that. So it's always a balancing act to share that space, the time, and a lot of communication, plus actually is a test of EQ, highly test. So I can imagine that, you know, in my previous life in corporate, so you dressed up, 8 o'clock you're in a car, you go to your office, and 9 to 6 you're actually really focused on just work and being productive. Right now with everything mashed up together, I'm actually wearing a lot of hats. So there is no one day from 18th of March that I don't prepare something, cook or clean every day. So that is actually taking a toll until I get things organized with you know, segment of time where I focus on work and I focus on family. So to me, even my pet Jojo is actually stressed, because usually at about 8:30 to about 6, she usually have her own time. And now with the kids screaming and you know, a lot of noise and everything else, I believe she is also stressed. Apart from that, she's doing more things. She's sleeping less, but we're trying to get it balanced. So in corporate, you have, you know, corporate psychologists, if you're lucky, and you can talk to them about, you know, how stressed you are. But being self-employed, now my psychologist is basically the plant. I have a little garden where I grow a little bit of flowers and that. So that takes away the daily stress out of me. So this is my little escape. So let's go to a bit of a serious topics right now. So Dr. Henry has actually covered quite a bit about you know, the impact globally and down to Malaysia. This is just a summary of related to you know, jobs and industry that is impacted. So why I want to pull this in is looking at APAC, right? India, Indonesia, Philippines, China. So if this continues for another 12 months, imagine the talent that is flowing in and going out to those countries will be impacted. So if you are looking into automating, you investing into IT and digital and all that, the talents that you will need to find is actually local talents. And you know, to fly in people from India or even Philippines would be, or even South Korea would be a challenge. Or even to send people out there for training or you know, a product transfer and all that is going to be a challenge. So we need to think about, you know, in terms of talent pool. Without COVID, it's already very hard to mobilize talents. So now with this, we have to think about, you know, other strategies. So other than that, the industry that has significant impact is over here. Hold on. Sorry, this is my kid talking to me. So the jobs that, you know, is going to be highlighted or increased will be at this column. But then again, how long would it last, or how many volumes would it be able to cover for those job that is going to be lost? So this is for Malaysia, right? Globally, it is projected that 250 million jobs going to be lost due to COVID. Malaysia, about 2.4 million jobs going to be lost. And out of that, 67% is unskilled workforce. 30% of that is fresh graduate. So SME associations is indicating that if 10% of SMEs is going to close down, 1 million jobs is going to be lost as well. And other than that, 60% of Malaysian women find it tough to survive beyond a week. That is related to financial and also support. So in recent cases, we have this incident happening in Ipoh, right? So I believe Dr. Henry talked about suicidal, Steve touched a little bit on that as well. So we have this very clear case of employee, an ex-employee being laid off, not happy, feeling really, really stressed. Subsequently, did some damage to the facility, and at after about an hour, actually committed suicide. So this is something that will impact a corporate, big and small. If you have seen the last video he left, a 15 or 20 minutes video, you will hear him talk. He's actually expressing himself as if there is no support, no hope. He named person's name individually. So I can imagine that if your names are being mentioned, you will feel somewhat responsible for a person's life. Now, from there, what have we learned? So there are a couple of points here that I have highlighted. One is, will this happen to me? I'm totally capable of supporting myself. I still have a job. But frankly speaking, in 2014, for me running a operations for 8 years for a really large multinational, second largest in the world, the whole team and 2 branches were also laid off. So I have personal experience, feeling of being retrenched, and it's actually within 24 hours. So the first feeling that came to me was very much like a shock and a denial. And you will come out with a lot of reasons saying, hey, why? We are actually profitable. We are actually doing pretty well. Everyone is actually meeting their targets. Why? So in a corporate and larger environment, people are looking at market potentials. They are also looking at the contribution you have. So number one, Malaysia's ringgit compared to a euro or compared to a USD. How much are you contributing? What about market? Can it be consolidated and delivered under one location in KL? Do we really need Penang? So with all these consideration and strategic concern, they really decided to actually shut down the Penang branch. So it was really sad for us. Generally, everyone goes through the same pattern. Some of it has been mentioned by Steve. So one is really feeling helpless, and then anger actually kicks in. You feel really angry. You felt like, 8 years you contribute so much, this and that, and how could they just do this to you? And then subsequently, you will feel depressed because you don't know what to do. You felt like your world has just turned upside down. You feel ashamed. You feel like, hey, how am I going to go back and tell my parents or tell my husband or wife or kids that, I no longer have a job. Subsequently, it's also the feeling of guilt. So you feel like, hey, which area have I not done well? Have I let my team down? Have I let the company or the bosses or the whole organization down? But after a while, generally for me, it's plus minus about 6 to 8 weeks, where we start to look at few things more positively. You start to accept that is the reality, and that's not the end of the world. So from there, actually, we move on. So the key points that I want to highlight here is that it can happen to you. No matter what level you are, no matter what functions you are holding. A very key important point is the initial employee engagement. So employee engagement is not about retaining people. It's not about succession planning and all that. It's also looking into employees that had dip in terms of their performance. There are some disciplinary issue. There are certain things, root cause that needs to be addressed. So take care of those emotions, mental well-being of all your employees, and look into, if you're partnering with a career transition company or service provider, look into areas where they can provide sound financial advice for these people, and also life options, because you have probably award these people with somewhat some kind of compensation. How are they going to, how long will it last them? How will they best utilize those funds? And what are the options out there? Are they really good at their job? Are they probably better in doing sales than engineering? So the options, we have to give people a little bit of hope. Looking at those risks and impact, and also value and trust. I have not come across a company that had not put people or somewhat talents or people as their core beliefs, or as important, or a very critical point to their organization. But when it comes to laying off, you look at people as in numbers, how much cost you could save. So when or before you do any kind of layoffs or retrenchment, please think about those values and core values and the trust that employees actually place on you again. So basically for me, with that change and with COVID and everything else, it is really overwhelmed. I can tell you that for the first 2 months, coming out of it, I actually look into where are my priorities. So number one, to me, it's really getting out there. So if there is a chance to actually get out, escape a little while into the nature, and out of get yourself fit, look into your health, fitness, well-being mentally and physically, give back, do something, charity, donation, be involved. Also, take that time to actually have quality time with family, friends, and loved ones, and making sure that you eat healthily as well. I think one thing is to exercise and all, but what you eat is also very important. And spend some time with great friends, positive friends that bring positive energy. So next is actually a video I want to play for you. It is very personal to me. The learning that I have through here is no matter whether it's a storm or rain, sometimes looking at it from the other side actually changes the energy, changes your mindset. Life doesn't have to be perfect. Later you will see Hakim actually playing on a piano that has keys that is out. But what is important is the connectivity between people, and also sharing of good things during these bad times. So that ends my presentation with two important quotes. I think tie back to the topic today. It's for a corporate point of view. It takes 20 years to build a reputation, but 5 minutes just to ruin it. So when it comes to talent, when it comes to corporate responsibility, think about how you would do things differently in this back time that could impact not only one individual, a group of individuals, but the whole community. On an individual standpoint, it's really looking at the optimism of things, right? Life is about 10% what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. So no matter what situation you are in, look at the positive side, put yourself together or in a group like this that motivates you to look at things a little bit different and change your mindset. Thank you.